mentioned, Captain Wiley cannot be here today, so I'm going to cover a couple of things that he typically talks over. And then I have my school liaison officer who is here as well to talk a little bit about support of those families that are doing the distance learning at home. And then we'll follow up by answering your questions. Again, please put them in the chat. We'll get to the questions as soon as we can if we don't cover them here during the discussion. So in general, we'll start out with the gating criteria like we always talk about. The gating criteria is what decides what HBCon level we stay here and at the base. And as everyone knows, we're here at HBCon C, have been for a while. In order to get down to B, we're looking at something around 50 for the incident rate, 50 per, I think it's 100,000 that are tested or 1,000 or whatever are tested. But the numbers that we're seeing right now, they were off for the last couple of weeks. For those that follow the news, Monterey County had some backlog tests and they finally came in. So the numbers this week aren't really that accurate to begin with. But with that said, we are still well above the number that we need. Right now we're at 237. We need to be around 178. Or we're at 237 up from 178. So that was probably a result of all those tests that are coming in. So again, not a lot we can really go off of from the numbers we have this week, but we're still hovering quite a bit above where we could be for us to have an HBCon change. The percent positive in the county, in the Tri-County area is 18.2%, up from 14%. Again, those numbers are likely part of that backlog of tests back as far back as July. So again, next week, we'll probably have a better idea of where we are in terms of starting that 14-day downward trend to where we can open some things up a little bit more. So that's all I really have to pass along in terms of the gating criteria. The main thing out there is maintain your vigilance in terms of wearing your mask, washing your hands, maintaining distance from others when you can, and so forth. The other thing I want to talk about that's probably on everybody's minds because it's quite prevalent today are the California brush fires that we've dealt with in the last couple of days. So we've got a couple of very serious fires down by Carmel River and then in Carmel proper that have been going on. If you have been outside today at all, you've noticed that there's a lot of ash in the air, very smoky, you can smell it. So it's not optimal conditions outside, and it's definitely not optimal for those that have already been told to evacuate their homes. Currently, the Carmel fire is about 740 acres have burned, 0% containment on that, so it's a relatively young fire, but they're already evacuating several folks from their homes in that area. If you do not know if your area falls under that, I'm going to tell you what it was as of about an hour ago. The Carmel fire evacuation orders are for east of Cachagua Road between Sky Ranch and Via Cielo, including Sky Ranch tributaries and Via Cielo. Also residents east of Cachagua Road between Summerhill Road and Asolideo Road, including Summerhill, Nason, Asolideo, Doctor, and tributaries. So those are the areas where evacuation orders have been submitted for the Carmel fire. And there is a evacuation center set up at the Carmel Valley Library. Someone just punched in Cachagua. That's great. Thank you. Those words are kind of tough. And then the other one is the river fire. It's been burning a little bit longer. This one is so far has burned 10,600 acres and is only about 7% contained. Both of these are a result of just the super hot, dry weather. The vegetation out there is just more susceptible to burning right now. And we've got a lot of evacuations going on in those areas. So for the river fire area, Pine Canyon Road, Parker Road, Laurel Lane, and Trimble Hill Lane, west of River Road to Parker Road, south to Limekiln Road, and to include Limekiln Road. And then Limekiln Road south to Gonzales River Road. So those are the areas for evacuation there. Hopefully the people in those areas already know they should be evacuated. But if they need assistance, please reach out to them, let them know that they can get more information by the alertmontereycounty.org. So again, sorry for butchering all those roads. I don't live out there. I don't know the names and how to pronounce those. But if you do have someone, either yourselves or anyone that you know that's either a coworker, active duty, DoD civilian, retirees, anyone who are eligible patrons of our facilities, we have opened the Navy Gateway Inns and Suites and the RV park to support those that do need to have a second or a place to go during this evacuation order. So those facilities are currently closed to all customers, but we are opening up for those that do have to evacuate. So please give the RV park a call if it falls under you and you have an RV, 831-656-7563. And then if you don't have an RV and need to stay in a hotel, you can call our Navy Gateway Inns and Suites at 831-920-0974, and that's extension 4. If you were to call the general Navy Gateway Inns and Suites line, that's a national line. They're not going to know about this exception. They're going to say it's all those facilities are closed to leisure travel right now. So please call those directly. Again, the RV park is 831-656-7563, and NJIS is 831-920-0974, extension number 4. So if you know anybody that is affected by those, please pass along that information to them if they're eligible customers. We definitely want to take care of them in these trying times. We'll definitely keep monitoring that. Monitor the NSA Monterey page. We'll provide updates as they come in terms of expanded areas. Some of you may have employees also that work up in the Santa Cruz area. There are areas of Santa Cruz that have been evacuated as well. It's a little further away, but by all means, we'll extend our courtesies to them as well, particularly any retirees in that area that may live that far away from here. So please continue to pass that word. And let's see. Those are the updates in terms of general stuff. Again, the gating criteria hasn't changed that much. And then with the CAL FIRES, just please continue to monitor that, monitor the news, and remain vigilant. So the other thing I want to pass on, we were talking with Antonio Colon, one of our NPS safety specialists earlier today, and he wanted to remind people that if you have issues with particulates, whether it be a condition like asthma or any issues with breathing those things, please wear your mask outside or avoid being outside altogether. The particulates aren't like crazy high at this point outdoors, to where Monterey County has issued a warning or any kind of making you stay indoors, but it is smart to wear a mask when you're outside at all times, just because there's a lot of ash in the air, a lot of soot and so forth. So please remain vigilant in terms of that. Okay, so we get into quality of life stuff. I did invite our school liaison officer, Dr. Cheryl McLeod, to talk with you guys a little bit about support that we have offered here at NSAM for those that are doing the distance learning, dealing with MPUSD and other school districts in the area. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Cheryl here for a couple minutes, and she's got some resources and information to pass along to you. So Cheryl.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the community. And some of the people here might be here early people for September, but welcome. So I'm the school liaison officer, and I just want to share some resources. You can reach me at nsamslo, NSAMSLO @nps.edu if you have any questions. So MPUSD started its virtual learning this week on Monday. They're officially having their students do the online learning. And if you'll go to mpusd.net, you'll find on one of their icons has portals for online learning. So there's a parent portal and a family portal and a student portal. And under those portals, it gives you links to social emotional resources, benchmarks, sample lessons, sample schedules, and all kinds of resources to support you in the distant learning. The military family life counselors, or the MFLOCs, they're available through the elementary schools and through NPS and the Presidio, and they are offering video telehealth services. So those are going to be online or on Zoom. That's non-medical counseling, and they're free and anonymous. The Zoom sessions will not be recorded, and it's the active duty are eligible. Active duty and their families are eligible. So the students of active duty at the elementary and the middle schools. And I have those numbers if anyone wants to contact the MFLAX. Tutor.com has expanded their no-cost eligibility to include all DoD service members and civilian personnel and their families during this COVID time. So if you'll log on to tutor.com/military, you can sign up for an account. It's 24-hour free tutoring for you and your children, and that might be really helpful during this online learning. The Military Child Education Coalition, you can reach them at parents@militarychild.org or militarychild.org/webinars. Now they have hundreds and hundreds, literally, of webinars for parent-to-parent training. This morning's topic was organization for your unorganized student, and I found that very helpful for myself. So that's another resource that you can log on, parents@militarychild.org. Also, the Anchored for Life program has a e-learning series every Tuesday and Thursday. And you can go to anchoredforlife.com and look at that, and it's through the end of the month. And it's for children, and their topics are like bullying, moving, making friends, having a healthy body, divorce, grief, all kinds of things. And so those are very helpful also. And if you have, any questions, or you're feeling a little bit out of place with the online learning, give me a call or a shout out, and I can try and help you. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Cheryl, for that update. Again, Cheryl is your best. If you didn't have a chance to write some of that stuff down, Cheryl, just email Cheryl. She will give you the resources. That's probably the easiest and best way to contact her. We know it's a trying time for those out there that have their kids student learning, distance learning in their house, along with the fact that the majority of people who are tuning into this are probably distance learning themselves at MPS. So double whammy. It's just interesting times for sure. I'll talk a little bit about the decoupled services. So the decoupled services for NSAM are the services that are in general closed Navy-wide, but we've been able to open them here at NSA Monterey because we've proved that we can do them safely, and they're also supported in our local community. And that includes our Starbucks. So again, pass the word. We had talked with a couple MPS professors just 2 days ago that did not know that the Starbucks was open. So please pass that word that Starbucks is open. We're only seeing about 20 or 30 customers a day. We'd love to see more. Love Day next door at the Love Shack is open for his daily specials and his lunch and breakfast. And we also have the golf course that is open. So the golf course is open to active duty, DoD civilians, retirees, and on all our families. So please visit us over the golf course. And the barbershop is also open for active duty and family members. So if you need to get a haircut, you can do that as well. We're going to jump over into the questions. We had one question that came in since last town hall I wanted to hit on first. This individual said, what is the exact mask policy if two people are greater than 6 feet apart inside? I'm working in a lab in Watkins Hall, and someone came into this space and looked at a fuse panel. I didn't have a mask on at any point, but it was always greater than 6 feet from me. However, considering that is an inside space, it still bothered me. I wanted to verify what the exact policy is for this situation. So the exact policy for being on base and having to wear a mask is exactly that. If you cannot maintain 6 feet of distance, then a mask is required at all times aboard NSA Monterey. So in this case, a mask was not required. And just to reassure you, the FAOs all agree with that guidance, our public health emergency officers, that provided you're staying more than 6 feet away from someone, a face covering is not required. Very, very low risk of transmission outside of that space. So by all means, if you don't feel comfortable and someone's doing some work in your space and not wearing a mask, then I'd suggest taking a water or a bathroom break. But that is the guidance on base, is that if you only need to wear a mask if you cannot keep that 6 feet of distance space in terms of inside in the facilities. If MPS puts out any different guidance than that for MPS specific personnel, then you heard that through MPS channels. But in terms of the installation in general, that is our guidance. All right, another question has come in. What are the primary means of notifications for the Carmel area? So Stephanie chimed in and said, if you text your zip code to 888-777. You'll get local and health safety and alerts. So whatever your zip code is, text it to 888-777, and then you should start receiving texts along the lines of local health and safety. Stephanie also says that she thinks the road is pronounced Kashawa, not Kajuko, whatever. I teared both of them up. So there's some debate out there, so I don't feel nearly as bad about how you actually pronounce that street. But again, that's most of what we have to put out this week. If there's any last second questions, I'll hang on here for a second. Please put them in the box. We plan to be back here next Wednesday. I can tell you that the skipper and I put up a proposal to offer some outside service dining here at NSA Monterey. We haven't gotten approval for that yet, but it's going up the chain right now. We know at the Frag Org that the military families have really missed going out and dining at their favorite restaurants out in town. Everybody misses the Trident Room, I'm sure. Although we're a long ways away from doing any type of indoor dining, we do hope to have some outdoor service dining at the Lenovia Terrace in the next couple of weeks, should we get approval. So keep your ear out for that. We'll give you an update on that next week on whether that got approved or not. But again, we're just trying to give people out there in the community a safe, responsible place to do some things that we all miss, like dining with some friends out at a restaurant that has some nice food and drink. So that said, I don't see any other questions for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Tina. But thank you guys again for tuning in. We will be here next Wednesday, same time at 3 o'clock. And please email your questions into us in advance if you have anything that you'd like to have answered, and we'll definitely address it on the next show. So Tina, I'll hand it back over to you.
Great. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Please join us next week for another town hall. And if you have questions, just check out our Facebook page. I usually put a flyer up there announcing our next town hall, and send your questions in advance. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.